Donald Trump's flailing attempts to make the midterms anything other than a disaster for the Republicans has hit a major snag, and it has to do with the efforts to redistrict in more and more states. He obviously was successful in pressuring Texas Republicans to gerrymander to take seats away from the Democrats, but that then triggered California to do the same. And there have been some cases where judges have struck down Republicans' attempt to do this. And all that's bad from Donald Trump's point of view. But even worse was when Indiana Republicans said, we're not going to do a new map. We're not even gonna try to. Now, to be clear, they're not trying to just like because, it would be wrong for democracy. No, it's because they saw how the last election went and they think if we were to do this, we might end up losing our seats, these state Senate Republicans in the next election, and maybe even congressional seats as well. The math just isn't mathing for them. But Donald Trump doesn't care. He's desperate. He can actually see the polls as much as he says that they're fake news, and he knows the midterms are gonna be hard. He obviously has no confidence that he can win over the voters, which is why he's decided to just skip all that politics stuff and instead just try to rig the midterms for himself. And so when Indiana Republicans announced that they're not gonna gerrymander, he freaked out about it, saying very disappointed in Indiana State Senate Republicans for not wanting to redistrict their state, allowing the United States Congress to perhaps gain 2 more Republican seats. So pause right there. So he's saying, I wanted us to do this so we get more seats. It's very clear what he wants to do. The next sentence is, the Democrats have done redistricting for years, often illegally, and all other appropriate Republican states have done it. Why is it illegal for the Democrats in this case? As I've reminded everyone, in California, when we recently did it, we only did it because Texas did it, and we had an actual ballot measure about it. We didn't just do it. We asked the California people, and 2 out of 3 agreed to it. It wasn't illegal. It was actually far more democratic in the way that it was done. And so he's complaining about the fact that California did it. He says that Indiana is effectively like robbing the Republicans of a majority in the House, which really seems like more of a you problem and a Congress problem than a couple of Indiana State Senate Republicans. But that's what he's saying. And he's also saying, by the way, they should be primaried. If they don't bow down to him and screw over their own voters and potentially end up losing seats because they're actually being probably more politically savvy in what they're doing, that they should lose their positions. Right now, by the way, JR, and I'll throw to you, Indiana has a 7-2 map. It is already wildly skewed towards the Republicans, but that's not enough. He's saying we want 2 more seats. He's saying it should be 9-0. What do you think?
It's sad. Listen, as you point out, you're reading right there what he wants. And he's saying it blatantly and straightforward. All these guys are saying it. It's crazy that this Republican Party, they've gone from, trying to suppress people from coming out and voting. That was their main purpose for trying to win elections. They're just blatantly saying, we're gonna change some rules. And when we change those rules, those same rules that we've said Democrats are doing illegally, we're doing them legally. They expect people to be this partisan and divided to think it's okay as long as we do things the wrong way. We're doing this specifically and strictly to help out Donald effing Trump, the guy who tossed more middle fingers at the American people every chance that he gets. The fact that they've got these fractures within their own MAGA party because of him. All this is right in front of everyone's faces, but they still think that's some kind of winning message. Their agenda, their new platform is now cheating. Like that's their platform. And when someone asks them, what kind of bills and plans do you guys have? I don't know. Cheat.
We want to be permanently in the majority, even though everybody hates our guts and we know they hate our guts and we don't want to do anything about it. Does that work? Is that good? So by the way, I wanted to take this opportunity to point out 2 things. Marjorie Greene is not the only Republican now at risk of political violence. One of the Indiana lawmakers, State Senator Greg Good, says he's now been swatted after Donald Trump tweeted about him. So again, this is just in the last couple days, 2 Republicans now facing potential threats on their life because of Donald Trump. And he, by the way, he hasn't even publicly gone against redistricting. He just says, we haven't seen a map that I can actually support at this point. But that's your party, dude. That's the movement you're a part of. And you remember that Trump message that I just showed you, where he's like, we need a 9-0 Indiana map. And if we don't get it, we're gonna primary the hell out of these Republicans. I just wanna remind everyone, the Justice Department is currently suing California to block Gavin Newsom's ballot measure approved redistricting plan, saying it's unfair as Trump is trying to take all representation from Indiana. It's actually ridiculous. And by the way, he's still talking about this. That first message had been earlier. He put up this second message saying, I will be strongly endorsing against any state senator or House member from Indiana that votes against the Republican Party and our nation by not allowing for redistricting for congressional seats in the US House of Representatives, as every other state in the nation is doing, Republican or Democrat, which is not true, not everybody is. Democrats are trying to steal our seats everywhere, and we're not gonna let that happen. This all began with the rigged census. We must keep the majority at all costs. Republicans must fight back. So first of all, have you considered keeping the majority by not being hated? By not screwing over the American people, maybe keeping some of your promises. That's one way to keep the majority. Also, this all started with the rigged census. He means the census. They want to rig it. They want to violate the Constitution by not counting everyone in these areas. The way it's being done right now is literally how the Constitution says it's supposed to. So he's flipping reality on its head once again. And he's saying every state is redistricting. The Democrats are trying to steal seats. Look, at the very least, you're both trying to steal seats, right? I mean, you can't have it both ways simultaneously. I mean, look, I've said I don't like this. I don't want this redistricting to happen anywhere. But if it's gonna happen in California, I'm not gonna pretend that the reason it's being done in California is because it's moral and good. It's just pragmatic to counteract the gerrymandering happening in Texas. But he wants to go a step further and be like, no, these damn California Democrats are stealing seats. Meanwhile, we're being awesome and patriotic. It's childish nonsense. Final thoughts, Jayar.
Last thought, think about it. He's strongly endorsing against. His endorsement is based on going against people, not based off of endorsing someone for their policies, their plans, or their political agendas and coming forward and doing something for the American people. His endorsements are about being against people for not rigging. It's all right in front of us.
If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.